All right. Well, it looks as though it's 5 o'clock, so we'll start on time. Once again, my name is EJ, one of the devs, team lead for EverReflect. We also have H Unit, one of our board members, our resident hype man and ringmaster, and also one of the admins. So there, I know that a lot of people are kind of old timers in this community, so you're probably going to hear a lot of the same statistics right at the beginning and math that we're going to go over. But for any of the new people, thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you taking the time out of a Friday to even join the community and even want to jump in on a video chat with our team. We appreciate it greatly. That's really the basis for why we do these, to have dialogues with you, to do some questions at the end, but also more importantly, so that people can actually get an understanding of who the team members are. When they see them in the chat, if they have interesting questions or if there's any concerns, that they can actually address them, and we'll do our best to answer them. So with that being said, I'm going to do a quick overview of the token. Let's just make sure my screen share works. Did it work that time?
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay. So this is the current EverReflect website. I'm on the Tokenomics page, and I want to highlight just a couple of things very quickly. With our Tokenomics, we do have a 20% buy tax to start. It is 15% rewards, 3% marketing, 2% liquidity. The marketing and liquidity taxes will be eliminated 1% per week starting the week after launch, and they will be finally, I guess you could say, eliminated from the contract by February 24th, leaving only a 15% BUSD reward to any of those holders. We've been running some tests with another token of the exact same contract. One of the things that we're discovering with liquidity is that slippage looks like it's going to have to be closer to 25% for buys, and then roughly between 27 and 30% for sells. In addition, the total supply, 1 quadrillion. The burn supply that we ended up already deleting, that you can see on our EverReflect BSC scan chart. So you can see right here, sent to the dead wallet, 50%. This is Pinksale, which it says pink lock here, but this is actually the dev delayed burn tokens. These are all the tokens that are currently on Pinksale's website for pre-sale and for liquidity for being sent to Pancake on January 20th. And then everything down below, these smaller 0.2% wallets, are either private sale, strategic partners, or people that that are on the board that also receive tokens. Going back to this, you can see the breakdown, and we'll go over this again, but 50% burn, 10% are going to delayed dev burn, 19% are being sold at pre-sale, 13% going to liquidity on Pancake, 3% are going to the team vesting tokens that will be released starting 90 days after launch, and those will also be slowly released for 3 years. The private sale that you saw that we had on there already, 1% to media and marketing, which will be in the media and marketing wallet that you can find on the contract. And then strategic partners is 1% as well. So with that being said, I will turn off my screen share. Bring back up H Unit, and I think he has a couple of words that he would like to share with the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you very much, EJ. So I'm going to cover a couple of basic things. Number one, we're going to show you how to connect to Pinksale again. Although I'm sure we still have some new folks that weren't on the last AMA. We walked through it. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. I'm also going to take some time and kind of talk about the breakdown of the Pinksale pie chart. So everybody knows where all the tokens are, where they're coming from, where they're going. So everything's accounted for. And then we have a special promotion to announce. So just sit tight. We'll get through all that. And we'll go ahead and get this thing started here. So go ahead and share my screen. Can you guys all see that? Yeah. Perfect. All right, so this is the EverReflect pre-sale landing page from Pinksale.finance. As always, general disclaimer around launch time, there will be lots of scams. So make sure it is actually Pinksale.finance, not Pinksale or Pinksale.fin, or I've seen a couple of different things. So also, highly recommended that you do the pre-sale transaction from a desktop. If you are, it's recommended to use MetaMask. So MetaMask, they have a really awesome extension you can download for Google Chrome. So basically, you can just connect your wallet, make it super duper easy. So as you can see from the landing page here in the top right-hand corner, you got the connect button, right? So we're just going to hit connect, MetaMask, boom, it's in there. From there, you can kind of see it's got the countdown to the pre-sale. Then the amount that you want to buy, just click right here. 2 BNB will get you 2 trillion EverReflect tokens. If you want to do the minimum at 0.01, that's 10 billion EverReflect tokens. Click buy. Easy enough. All right, it'll pop up with a transaction showing you your gas and all that sort of stuff. And then once the pre-sale is completed and the token is launched, you'll come back to this particular site. This buy button turns into a claim button. You hit claim, and the tokens get distributed to your wallet. You will have to pay gas to get the tokens out of Pinksale. So if you got 2 BNB and that's it, make sure you got a little bit left over to cover the gas, or else you won't be able to claim right when we launch. Right. So the next part of this, we have our token metrics. So I've taken the liberty of making this totally awesome Word doc that kind of shows the exact same graph and where everything is, where everything goes. So first off,
totally awesome. Totally awesome, right? Word doc.
Color coded and everything. It took me, I was slaving over this for like, I don't know, 3 minutes. It was amazing.
And I will mention that you have been sick, so thank you for even showing up today. So,
oh yeah,
you're going above and beyond.
COVID ain't gonna keep me down, that's for sure. So, but starting off, so we have the total starting supply of 1 quadrillion tokens, or 1Q, as it's often abbreviated in chats. Of that, half, so 500 trillion tokens, are going to be burned. So by burn, they're already burned. They're already in the dead wallet. It's 0x00000000 forever dead. These tokens are gone forever. They will never be accessed by anybody, whether it's a dev or outside party, nothing like that. They gone. So the reduced circulating supply means a higher price floor, which is simple tokenomics. After that, we got the pre-sale. So this is 195 trillion tokens. That's our 195 BNB hard cap. It's 19.5% of the total supply. This is for the whitelist participants. Or if for some reason the pre-sale doesn't fill when before the pre-sale goes public, we'll have the public pre-sale as well to fully empty out that 195 trillion. So these tokens are untaxed at launch, meaning that if you bought 2 trillion tokens for 2 BNB, when you claim it, you're going to have 2 trillion tokens. There's no tax or anything applied to that. After that, we've got our liquidity. So 124.8 trillion, or 12.48% of the total supply. This is what we use to trade back and forth for BNB. The good news is that, as described by EJ and on the Pinksale website, this liquidity is locked in Pink Lock for 10 years. 3,650 days. So that means no rug pulls. No rug pulls here. Can't do it because it's locked up in there. Then we have our lock tokens. So we've had a lot of questions about the lock tokens, which is 100.1 trillion, which is 10.1% of the supply. This is going to be our delayed burn. As EJ had mentioned in the last several AMAs, we are going to further reduce circulating supply by an additional 100 trillion tokens. Prior to, February 24th. That's the target date. So instead of 500 trillion in total circulation, we will have 400 trillion. Once again, when tokens are burned, they are gone forever, never to be seen again. All right. After that, we have our unlocked tokens. So this is 51.1 trillion tokens. This came from the private sale and board member tokens. It's 5.11% of the total supply. This is basically our seed capital, get everything up off the ground, to have money to spend to incorporate, which EJ is working on right now with EverReflect Marketing LLC and EverReflect LLC. So it will be a legitimate company, which is pretty cool. And lastly, we have the team vesting, which is a paltry 29 trillion tokens, or 2.9% of the total supply. This is basically the marketing and the dev wallet. This is how we're going to pay for utilities. This is how we're going to pay for marketing. This is basically where we get all the money to do all the cool things, get more people interested in EverReflect, tell people about EverReflect, and ultimately drive more volume, which, of course, more volume, more BUSD reflections, right? And nobody's going to be mad at more BUSD reflections. And if you are, just let me know. I will happily take them from you. So other than that, that pretty much breaks it down. So there you go. You have 1 quadrillion tokens, all accounted for.
Coin that term.
What?
Nobody's going to be unhappy with more BUSD reward.
Nobody will be.
Nobody.
Nobody. All right, so with that being said, the last thing I'm going to talk about before I turn it back over to EJ, talk about a couple of other cool things that we're doing, is we're going to sponsor a meme contest for the Telegram. So we've had a lot of people ask about, is the sweep the only way that I can get a whitelist spot? Because it's kind of random, lots of entries, you're not guaranteed, that sort of stuff. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to introduce a meme contest. So basically, just to read you this little snippet, in the interest of our dedicated community members, that's you guys, we have decided to offer whitelist spots to meme creators, because who doesn't love a good meme? So we're going to award 5, count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whitelist spots to the creators of the top 5 memes about why you want to invest in EverReflect. So to participate, create a meme, post it on the EverReflect Twitter with the hashtag EVRF meme challenge and $EVRF, and make sure you tweet us at EverReflect. So this is going to run all weekend long on January 10th, which is Monday, 11:59 p.m. UTC, or roughly, about 6:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time where I'm at. We'll award the top 5 whitelists to the top 5 tweets with the most likes and most retweets that contain a meme about why you want to invest in EverReflect. So everybody loves a good meme. So I'm sure some people have already kind of made a few, but we want original memes, no shared memes, none of that sort of stuff. So
and Irish Grandma Hands is removed from the competition because he's already producing memes at a ungodly rate. So
at a very alarming rate. It makes me
at a very alarming rate. So
yeah, if
we'll let him play in the competition, but he can't win. So you can know that probably the best meme maker in the EVRF community. He's the Tiger Woods of meme making. So
womp womp, rip Irish Grandma Hands.
He's good. He
is.
He's slick. We appreciate him greatly as a moderator in our group.
Absolutely.
So the last topic that we'll talk about, we do not actually have any breakdown for this as far as a chart, but this is just going to be a standard rule going into launch on January 20th, which will be at 5 p.m. UTC. That we are going to basically what we're going to be doing is let me mute really quick, Stu.
Oh, hey, Stu. Glad you could join us.
Yeah, give me just 1 second. So for launch on January 20th, we will be having anti-bot protection. This will last for 24 hours. There will be a max buy, max sell of 2 trillion tokens, which will be taxed. Now, with every max buy or max sell, you will also have to wait a 60-minute period, which some people could say a delay, a 60-minute vesting period, however you would like to define it. However, that will be in place for the full first 24 hours. So anytime you make a transaction on our contract address, this will affect the people that purchase pre-sale tickets or pre-sale tokens. If you end up purchasing pre-sale and you withdraw your pre-sale tokens the moment basically that we launch, which will be the first time that you'll have the opportunity to withdraw those tokens will make a transaction, and you will have to wait 60 minutes to buy or sell more tokens with that wallet. Now, you do have the capabilities of being able to purchase more tokens with multiple wallets. That is not restricted. There's no reasons that we would tell you that you can't buy with multiple wallets, but every wallet in between buys or sells will have to basically wait an incubation period of 60 minutes before they can make another transaction. The biggest reason for this is we're taking the anti-bot protections that we've purchased through Pinksale, incorporated them into the contract, and then we're just trying to do our best to mitigate the number of buys and sells from multiple wallets and quick transactions. I know that this process is a little more extreme because a lot of people will see, okay, there's a 30-second or a 60-second delay on most launch contracts. So we're kind of extending it to what seems to be an extreme amount of time. And that's fair. And that's definitely something that we can take some heat for. But the whole process for us to be able to delay the transactions for 60 minutes and only allow a max buy or sell of 2 trillion tokens is really to protect the smaller buyers, the person that's coming in with $50 or $100, that no person will be able to come in and buy 10 trillion, 10 trillion, 10 trillion, rapid fire sniper bot style. This gives the opportunity that when the token first is launched, the prices are the lowest. More people will be able to purchase more. More holders will be able to basically hopefully jump in at that early launch price. And so if there are any questions, you can feel to ask those questions in the group chat. But just keep in mind, 2 trillion max buy for the first 24 hours. Every time you make a transaction of buy or sell, you will have to wait 60 minutes. All those governors and all those restrictions will be taken off, however, after 24 hours. So Stu left us.
Oh, jerk.
So Stu, if you want to jump back in, you are admin. So to do a quick intro, Stu is one of my good friends. He's also on the core dev team. He is the originator graphic design pro that came up with the EverReflect logos. So any of the designs that you're seeing out there are his creation. Also a brilliant coder, also has a team of devs working. So even though you only see Stu, there's multiple people working behind the scenes for Stu. He's a pretty big deal in a lot of circles. So it's a pleasure to have him to take the time to be out here and greet everybody. And he has an announcement for us.
Yeah, I'm releasing the website. It's when I say release, I mean it is fresh out the oven. Just flipped over the EverReflect.io domain name, and there's still some tinkering I have to do tonight with it. And the domain host is pretty slow at propagating the turnover, so it might take a bit, but it is EverReflect.io. I can post that for everybody. So if you guys want to take a look at it, any additions that you guys want to see would be great. Like I said, this is as fast as we could get it up, and we're going to be adding to it all the time. And I can't wait to push everything towards it. As far as anything that anybody needs to know, it's going to act as the hub for everything. So if you're getting a bunch of questions on different social medias and things like that, it'd be nice to collect them back in an FAQ, which we have a bunch already on the web. So that we can all, from all the different social media places that we have, point people back to the website and make it kind of the home base. And then social media advertising and things like that are going to take over. And, of course, we're going to have landing pages and things like that.
So now that we've seen everybody's faces, I will share my screen really quick. And this is what the new EverReflect.io, it will be our new URL. EverReflect.me will still work, and it will still redirect you to EverReflect.io. but in this space, this is the website that we've been working on. Not even we. Stu has been working on. I have been putting in little additions as far as copy, but he is the designer of this website. He posted it in the chat, and we just encourage everybody to take a look. There's obviously more content. There's also way more sophistication to the design and to every component of this new website. So we're super thrilled, super grateful, and it's just a pleasure that we were able to work with him and his team to be able to put something like this together, because we think that this will be another one of those game changers in regards to the EverReflect brand, what you can expect coming forward when we end up introducing other utilities such as our dashboard app that's being worked on, and also our SD chart that we're projecting will come shortly after tax reduction. And yeah, if there's any questions or if there's anything that anybody has, like he said, for input, just let us know. Message myself or any of the admins or any of the board members, and we'll take that advice and try to incorporate it to the best of our abilities onto the website.
Looks fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, some of you may see some broken images here and there on Eric's screen that it look great. It looked perfect. So different parts of the world, different places in the country are going to be filtering through for the next couple hours. But yeah, anything that you need for media, I think I'm going to put a media kit section up. So when everybody asks for media, instead of going out on your own, I'll just have a big PDF with all of our logos so everybody can use them for the things that they need.
Cool.
Which is very awesome, because the coolest part about having such an engaged and awesome community that everybody's so pumped up is that we're seeing the utilization of the logo in so many locations, from like restaurants in Nova Scotia to people putting it on their trucks here in Michigan to people making their own hoodies and T-shirts. So we're excited and we appreciate that. And we want to make sure that we give you guys the brand guidelines so that we can, have it posted and you can get high-res stuff that'll work for you. So
cool. Excellent. I see we're getting pretty good reviews already.
Good.
Yeah, more to come. I'm going to take that coin, and I think that Eric and I were talking about it, and I don't know if you guys have talked about it, but I think that at some point we're going to mint some of those. For real,
Oh,
I need some of those. I'm also going to make a 3D coin so it can spin and fly around, and then I am going to be very, very interested in and be working with a lot of what we're going to do in the NFT space, too. I can't wait for that. That's going to be great. Yeah. Adding NFTs.
I was telling Stu on a conversation we had just the other day, because he has a very large company that he runs and founded, and he's also already been on the global scale with a bunch of those contracts that he's worked with. But getting his attention at the right time to be able to work with us on this project was literally like the sea parting, that he actually had the time to be able to jump in and do as much work. So even though I know a lot of the admins and a lot of the board members haven't been able to necessarily have as many conversations with him on Telegram, or we haven't been able to see him as active in the chat, it's because he's always working behind the scenes. And a lot of times it's up until 10, 11, midnight, if he ever sleeps, like a lot of our team. But he's constantly putting in this effort above and beyond. So I'll acknowledge the fact that he's not only a brilliant genius person when it comes to the creative aspect, he's taken that dedicated time out of his normal schedule to be able to work on our project. And we think that there's great things to come, and we're excited about it. So
yeah, big plans. I like the worldwide part of it. I'd like to get a lot of our stuff translated into different languages. I'd like to start having possibly advisors in different countries, specific country advisors and things like that, go-to people for that country, things to get the community more involved and get us more global, get us more advertising.
Yep. Cool.
So
Well, take a look at the website. Give us any kind of feedback when you guys get a chance in the Telegram group. So if there's not any other announcements from Stu or H, then what we can do is we can open up the session and we can do some Q&A. I said this last time that we'll take questions for the next half an hour and end up running an hour and a half. So feel free for anybody to raise their hand, and then H unit will have you do the same kind of helping assist to make sure that we know who's kind of next in line, if you do not mind.
All right, cool. Well, Joe, Joe Torres, you've had your hand up since the thing started. So let's see what you got. What you got, Joe? You are allowed to speak. Joe Torres, Bueller. Nope. Okay. Well, I guess we will go on to the next one. I think I saw Matt with their hand up. So, Matt, go ahead, Matt.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Great, Matt.
How about yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. Really excited about this one.
Cool.
So I had a couple of questions, if that's okay. The first was, I know obviously we've got the pre-sale coming up on Pinksale. In the white paper at the moment, I think it mentions launching pre-sale over multiple platforms. Is that still something, or was that like an early thing and not happening anymore?
That would be an error if it's still. That should have been removed from the most recent. We should be on, I think, white paper 1.4, but I'll double check if you ended up finding that on, because it should have been taken out. We initially with the pre-sale. I'm just taking down some notes to update that. Initially with the pre-sale, the plan was to hopefully divide up the tokens and to not necessarily have them all funnel through Pinksale. We looked at DX sale, and then we also looked at a couple of kind of newer out of the gate launch pads. Everybody kind of restricts it. And so when everything got said and done without confusing or upsetting basically the launch pads, we finalized that we were just going to put everything through Pinksale. And then if you look at the BSC scan, you can see where all those tokens are, but everything of that 350 trillion-ish, those are all on in the Pinksale launch pad.
Okay, no, I figured that would be the case, but just wanted to check in case there's like a second whitelist or something for another one. And then the only other thing I just wanted to make sure of is if I buy at launch, is there any, can I just sort of buy straight away, or have you got anything set up for like higher tax in the first block or anything? So I have to sort of wait a bit to be safe.
So no higher tax. The 20% tax is what it will be across the board until it's reduced to 19% and then 18% a week later. At launch, though, we will have those restrictions for no purchase higher than 2 trillion, no sell higher than 2 trillion. And then in between transactions, you will have to wait 60 minutes for that first day. So if you buy right at launch, your wallet will basically go on a timer, and then you'll have to wait 60 minutes to either buy more from that wallet or to sell from that wallet.
Okay, that's brilliant. Cheers. Well, hopefully I'll get in whitelist, but if not, I'll be there at launch to buy.
Thank you for that.
Cheers.
It's a little more extreme because, like I was saying, a lot of times people end up waiting 30 seconds or 60 seconds in between transactions. The only reason we went an hour is because we want the opportunity for more small buyers to be able to get in. That's really, really the goal with a lot of this. We want the people that are going to invest their first $50 or $100 into an altcoin because they've only ever purchased maybe on Coinbase, or maybe they're only familiar with Robinhood. The main mission for this community, and I was having an extremely good conversation with Tango Delta 6 earlier today about this, is helping people to get new trust wallets and get new MetaMask. The concept of buying on a decentralized is so much more difficult than buying on a centralized exchange. And even a centralized exchange can be intimidating if you're only familiar with buying on, say, Robinhood. So that's That's the mission behind why we put those governors in place for that first 24 hours. After that, everything opens up.
And just to clarify, if you do make it on the pre-sale, your claiming transaction from Pinksale is considered a transaction. So
Correct.
if you claim from the Pinksale, you will not be able to purchase right at launch with the same wallet.
Correct. Any transaction, including pre-sale transactions, will limit that wallet for 60 minutes. So just the very first day, everybody should think if you've made any transaction with that specific wallet, you can, like I said, buy from multiple wallets. There's going to be a 60-minute delay.
All right, cool. So DL, you are up next. What you got, DL? DL.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Hey, DL.
What's up,
Hey,
my
how
guy?
you guys doing?
What's up, man? Thanks for joining.
Yeah, really excited about the project. I just got some questions here. I know that you guys have a 60-minute lock regarding as soon as you first say either claim it through Pinksale or was able to get in the post-launch buy.
Mhm.
Yep.
But what's going to prevent someone from, say, transferring that to another wallet? And then
Nothing.
Nothing. The transaction's tagged to the wallet. So if you buy with one wallet and transfer it to another wallet, you're not going to be able to purchase with that same wallet you just bought.
Right.
I got you. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't planning to do it, but I was thinking about someone that's was going to do it. They would obviously find a way, right?
And you could.
I mean, you could, but then you'd pay the 20% tax moving it from wallet to wallet.
Oh, so there is a tax to move it to wallet to wallet.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. We're not taking it. I mean, down the road with the concept of like if you're transferring it from wallet to personal wallet, and then there's no fees, that would be a glorious thing. As of right now, it's not that case. It's not that case with most reflection tokens. So if you were to say put it in buy with trust and transfer it to your meta, you're going to get taxed. So everybody keep that in mind. Even if you were to say at launch, because there's a 60-minute governor, you buy tokens in 4 wallets, combining those wallets will tax you.
Yes, it will.
So you buy from multiple, say, trust wallet, and you transfer it to one wallet. Each time you transfer it, there is that 20% tax.
You got it.
Yep. So most likely, whatever wallet you end up purchasing it in, my recommendation is to keep it and house it in that specific wallet. Don't try transferring it until you either want to add more or that you would like to sell.
Correct. And that's also to help kind of prevent, somebody would buy with 4 wallets and then stuff it all together. So now if you bought 2 trillion at each one, now you have a wallet with 8 trillion tokens, and now you're collecting a majority of the reflections. Well, that's not cool. So
and not only
20% tax kind of negates that.
Well, and we're trying to be strategic about this because we're a baby still. Like we're not at the 125,000 holders like an EverGrow. Like we're going to be out of the gate and hopefully hit those big tiers are 500 holders, 1,000 holders. And after 1,000 holders, then you're talking 5, 10,000, 20,000 holders. So those tiers can be reached faster with just some governors so that people can't buy a ton of tokens, so that there's more tokens for smaller wallets to buy. But also, this is kind of a strategic move that if you are wanting to buy more tokens, well, now you have to do it from 2 different wallets or 3 different wallets.
Great question.
Holders are good for all of us in the long run. I mean.
Okay, just one last question.
Yeah.
I noticed that there's is it a 2 or 3% for marketing for the first month? Is it the first month?
3% marketing.
Okay, so my question is, after February the 24th, is when that 3% for marketing will be excluded from the tokenomics.
Yep.
Where would you get your marketing money from? Is that from the BSC chart that you guys are planning to put ads on and collect revenue from there to use it for marketing?
So that's one way. Yes, but we also have it set up where the correct me if I'm wrong, EJ, but the marketing wallet will receive reflections as well.
Correct.
So it'll compound itself much more slowly than an average holder, because the marketing wallet isn't going to have a whole bunch of tokens in it. But it's going to kind of help feed itself.
How many percentage of the tokens was allocated for marketing? I didn't really see that on the token.
1%, but really it'll end up, when everything shakes out, it'll be about 1 trillion tokens will be in that marketing wallet at launch, and then that will collect reflections also, right? That 1%. Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That will collect reflections. Then for a month, we'll receive the BUSD tax reflections. And then after our vesting period for those dev delay tokens, of those 29 trillion, like H had said, that some of those tokens will also be transferred out into the marketing wallet, so that they will also be used for generating reflections. Similar to what EGC just did about 3-4 weeks ago, where they transferred out dev tokens, but that was a much larger sum. Ours will be coming out at about 800 billion every month. I think that they receive close to like 10 trillion or 25 trillion all in one lump sum. So we're delaying it for just under 3 years, so that they're slowly trickling out, but then they can slowly be moved to the initial team for some of those tokens, but then also some of those will go into the marketing wallet, in addition to the utilities that will also be revenue streams, but also burn tokens.
Okay, I'm sorry. Great. One last question. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that on the the white paper, it mentions something about a delayed 100 trillion burn post-launch.
Yep.
When that happen, I know the market cap will stay the same, but the price per coin will jump up tremendously, right?
Well, the market cap will actually go down because there will be less. The market cap is based on the circulating supply. So then anytime you look on PooCoin, for example, you'll see that it's currently their circulating supply is every token, even locked tokens. So our market cap will actually be higher at launch than what you see on Pinksale, because Pinksale's market cap only incorporates circulating tokens. So we'll only have 371 trillion circulating tokens at launch. But market cap on PooCoin will be determined on the 500 trillion tokens. As we gradually start, we'll burn 5 trillion on the 20th. We'll burn 5 trillion on the 27th, 5 trillion the week after, 5 trillion until February 24th. We actually burn 10 trillion tokens. And then the weeks following that, we'll keep burning another 5 trillion. It's going to lower the market cap. The concept is that it's somewhat of a symbolic move. For everybody that's in the community to see the trust in our team, that they're like, oh, these guys are still, 5 trillion tokens at launch could be worth $3,000, right? But in a week or a month, that could be worth 10 grand, 25 grand. So the symbolism of us burning those additional tokens and also lowering the circulating supply are the two factors behind it. Plus, it's going to be kind of fun. Like every time we reduce a tax, like, all right, who wants to help us burn 5 trillion tokens? Like, I've never seen it done. And I know that a lot of these reflection tokens that start with one Q, that they basically will burn 50% very easily. But then there's not a very large sum of circulating tokens that get burnt fast from buyback and burn, or they're not usually burnt that fast because of utility. So this is for us before SafeMoon became version 2 and kind of what EverGrowCoin has done. They're still in that 500 trillion. V1 was in that 500 trillion range. Actually, it was more than that. We're trying to get to the 400 trillion range faster than anybody.
Okay, great.
Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you, DL. Appreciate you actually taking the time to be out here on a Friday night. So, that's not a puppy. That ain't a puppy.
This is Ever Baby. Sorry, she was in baby jail for a little while and started screaming. So
it doesn't matter what you got. Just put an Ever on the front of it, and it's official.
Yeah, there you go. Pretty much. So, all right. Who is next? We have Superman. Everybody's favorite Superman.
Oh yeah.
Our resident Michigan promoter with decals for the vans.
Yeah, that guy. So, got a quick question. I'm a little late to the party here, but you said that the transfer from Pinksale, if we make whitelist, the transfer from Pinksale counts as a transaction. So if I left my tokens in Pinksale to be able to buy initially at launch, there's no problem with me referring back in an hour or 2 hours to pick from Pinksale. It should be there no matter what because they are there.
Right.
That is correct.
That is correct. Ding, 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 ding. You get the gold star for being the A in the class today. Yes, that is one way to circumvent your 60-minute governor. So
because I'm already committed in the whitelist. If you get there, you're already committed to those. So there's no sense in waiting for that price to shoot that hour up.
Right. So you could wait the hour or 2 hours. Those tokens aren't going anywhere. They're gonna be just in the locked Pinksale presale, 195 trillion of them. If you are fortunate enough then to buy, say, 2 trillion, you can certainly just wait that 60 minutes, buy with that same wallet, and then add them after the fact.
Okay.
And there'll still be no tax and no fees because the tax and fees are removed from that wallet. So there's no way that you can get taxed from those wallets because we've already removed those fees. And I think that that's where some people have gotten nervous about, I've seen once a token is launched and I tried to remove my tokens from the pre-sale address and I got taxed. Most likely it's because they didn't remove the dividends and they didn't remove the taxes and the fees and the rewards from that wallet. And ours are already off.
Gotcha. Okay, now the next question, and this one's kind of off the cuff here. The 100 trillion tokens that the delay burn, where are those stored in the interim? Because, well, let me just tell you what I was thinking, and then you can tell me what direction you went with it. Yeah. If the marketing wallet is canceled out in February, that's a limited time for it to collect enough funds to be able to do a good amount of marketing. Is it possible to store that 100 trillion in the marketing wallet to help fatten up the BUSD rewards for that month so that when those burn out of the marketing wallet, you're getting, you know what I mean? You're basically kind of bumping the marketing wallet so that you have kind of a cushion there in case of, you know, I mean, just for whatever. It's a cushion. Anything extra is extra for marketing, and marketing's never a bad thing.
I don't think we'd want to do that because the marketing wallet is collecting reflections. Right. So if the marketing wallet has 100 trillion tokens in it, then the marketing wallet's going to be getting the majority of the reflections and not the holders.
And honestly, Superman, that's a great, it's a great idea, and it's definitely one of those. We're still in a time frame because of the way that we're changing some of the math that we could review and go back on things and be like, oh, maybe we should have just taken the reflections from that 100 trillion and put them in. But because we've already announced it at this point that they will not be collecting reflections, we're going to move forward with this. But it's a great strategy because you're right. Like we're keeping this as frugal as possible in some ways. And the reason we're keeping it as frugal, you can even see with just collecting 195 BNB at pre-sale and then adding 80% of that to the liquidity pool when we probably could sell 1,000 BNB. I mean, in great case scenario that we would sell 1,000 BNB, but we don't want to get that pre-tax. We don't want to get that much into the hands of just the pre-salers because we're trying to really gear this whole thing up for launch. Because everybody's going to be happy if they get pre-sale. Nobody from pre-sale is going to be happy if there's nobody there at launch. And this is all strategic, build up the community, get people excited, wanting to buy at launch, wanting to buy potentially from multiple wallets, wanting to hold. And then even those people that do want to end up selling, that they're still going to have to think twice a little bit, because you've had to wait in some cases up to 3 months to even buy this if you heard about it in November. But in most everybody else's case, 30 days or 60 days. It's a psychological strategy that we're hoping, and it's given everybody else the opportunity to meet us, to ask a lot of questions, to forge some rapport, to build some trust, for us to be able to, going back to my conversation with Tango Delta earlier today, you can't rush rapport and you can't rush friendships. Like there's just there's a period of time that it takes. But even if you meet somebody the very first day and you think they're a great person, you still want to get to know them. You still have to have some phone conversations. You have to have some text messages. You have to get to know about their children or their family or what they do for a living. And we're giving the community, our team, and everybody the opportunity to build that with this basically extended launch period, and why we've taken so long to do that launch.
Yeah, perfect answer. Like I said, I was curious. It kind of popped in my head, and I wasn't sure what if there was a reasoning behind it, or if it was just kind of like that's how it panned out being. So
yeah, and we thought about that, keeping them in an open wallet so that you could earn the reflections and then send them back to the dev wallet to burn them. But when everything was said and done, it's going to take too many reflections away from the holders. We want those holders those first couple weeks, especially the ones that are, buying at launch or getting in at pre-sale. That's when less holders means more percentage fraction of the reflections. So then you're going to be able to receive more reflections. More reflections makes everybody happy, like H said. So if you're receiving a lot out of the gate, hopefully any of those people that are a little bit, no bags are going to be massive, but even if you're a large or small bag, that you're going to potentially hold on to it long term. Or not drop everything. That's really another big part, that even if somebody's at a point in their life where they need to say they have 100 billion and they have to unload some because they need the finances, maybe you don't unload everything. That's really the key, because what we want as many holders as possible. So then maybe you just unload 50% or 30% because you're like, I'm going to at least keep a stash of these, kind of like I do with my SafeMoon, kind of like I do with my Evergrow, that they will always be in my wallet, because realistically, they were the ones that got us out of the gate with a lot of these reflection, burn style, lowering circulating supply type tokens.
Good. I'm sure you got a million hands up, so I'll let you get to it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate all your help. And super cool, dude. If anybody sees Superman in that group, chat with him.
Yeah, good hearing from you as always, Superman. All right. So next we got. Oh, I had some people with their hands up, and it looks like they went down. So if you had your hands up and have a question. There we go. All right. Oh, Lord. All right. Let's see. Ken, I saw you. What's up, Ken? Welcome to the AMA.
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
What up, Ken? Appreciate you being here, bud.
Absolutely.
Oh, of course, love the project, what you guys are doing. I absolutely love it, especially how fair it is. That's what you don't see crypto blocks, and everyone's out to help, for themselves. So excellent job. But just a quick question. So let's say, for example, if you were to buy from whitelist, you didn't claim it, you went and bought, let's say, 2 trillion. Now my question is, that means that the ones that you didn't claim, you won't be receiving reflections, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
Right. So that's another strategic move that everybody's going to have to think through that process, because in all honesty, you're basically going to be putting yourself into a situation where, say you get in, you get 2 trillion tokens, you don't take them at launch, they're not receiving reflections. So do you want to try to buy another 2 trillion then, which is going to be taxed, or do you want to remove them, and then that's your 60-minute window? So there's a lot more strategy that it's got, and actually the board members and the admins will tell you, like, we're not making it easy on them to buy the tokens either. It's taking a lot of a lot of strategy on everybody's part.
Perfect. Yes. I love that answer. All right, cool. That's it.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Ken. We appreciate you as always. All right, Luca, you've had your hand up for a little while. Luca L, what you got? Luca, you are allowed to talk. Going once? No? Okay. Leroy Green, not Jenkins. What you got?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
I can. Perfect. Loud and clear.
Sorry about the back noise. I'm actually on a flight right now, but just excited about the project. My question pretty much got answered on the. It was pretty much the limit of the hard cap, but it's all strategic and psychological, and just excited for this project. Congrats on all the marketing that you guys are doing. Pretty much, it's definitely moving around through Telegram group chats and all that. So can't wait for the launch, guys. Congrats.
Awesome. Thanks, Leroy.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Leroy.
And going back to kind of Leroy's comment, like, this is strategic. The math has been in place since November. Whether it could be tweaked and we could have done things a little bit better, guaranteed. Like, nothing's going to be perfect with this project. Nothing's going to be completely ideal. You're going to always be able to, in retrospect, go back and be like, oh, we should have done 205, hard cap and let people buy 0.5 BNB. Yeah, there are modifications that we're taking notes every day of stuff that we could do different. But to this point, all of the math and everything's working out exactly how we had expected it, because there is going to be a lot of anticipation for launch. And that is really, I know the taxes are incorporated, but all of us want to make sure it's a strong launch. And that strong launch not only sees a lot of growth at the beginning, but consistently throughout the day and for the first 24, 48, 72, hours into infinity.
That's right. All right, son of a bit, Brett. What you got?
Hey, EJ, how's it going? Neighbor across.
What's up, bud?
Hey, not too much, man. I'm OG. I was in there before a lot of people were. It's great to see how this project's growing, bro. Just a quick question, because I am in the whitelist, but I know it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to get that. So at launch, does the 2 trillion include the 20% tax? So if you could put in like 2.4, or it's got to be exactly 2?
It has to be exactly 2. So you will only receive 1.65 or whatever ends up being 1.6 trillion because of the tax. We've gone back and forth on this number too, and the reason we went with just the 2 trillion is, one, it's still lower than 2.4, which gives people it's a harder time to get more tokens, and secondly, because of the fact, for simplistic reasoning, that we can just tell people the most you can type in is 2 trillion, as opposed to the most you can type in is 2.4 trillion, because then that'll get taxed and the math will work out that you're getting 2 trillion. That the best recommendation that we have for everybody, and I've said this to the admins and to the board, that if you're thinking of buying multiple allocations at launch, set up a MetaMask and set up a Trust wallet, or set up multiple MetaMasks and then buy from multiple wallets, or have your wife jump on one phone with a Meta and buy, and have yourself buy with another app. But it will just be a 2 trillion. So you can punch in the 2 trillion number, and then whatever that comes out to. If you put the 0.000 at the end, then that becomes, like we had learned on the last AMA from the one gentleman that spoke, that then becomes basically the token that you're going to end up driving off of, and then the BNB will come out to reflect the 2 trillion. So that's the way I would recommend to do it. Type in the 2 trillion, 0.000. Like we said, slippage is probably going to be in that 25 range. But sometimes when you use the decimal 0.000, it doesn't matter the slippage, because it's just going to end up making that the base of the tokens that you want to purchase.
Yep. used that trick before. So all good, man. Yeah, I just got to have quick hands, right?
Yeah, kind of. I think a lot. I mean, some dude was telling us last night he's going to cancel his flight from like Paris if he gets on the whitelist, and it's like, this is
wow.
Yeah,
amazing.
I gotta stay for it, so no biggies.
There's a lot of faith that this could be life changing for a lot of people. So, and Brett, another one of those guys that we appreciate, you and your whole crew that kind of came over right at the beginning and have been here since like almost day one, and a great example of the people we want in the community to be able to build rapport and to kind of just be friendly with people. You know, we encourage that every day with everybody you speak with.
Absolutely, man. Thanks, EJ. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Brett.
your support. Appreciate you. All right, Luca, looks like you're back. Don't know what happened the last time, but you're good to ask your questions. Luca, what you got?
Hello, guys. Thank you
Hi.
for hi from Italy.
Nice.
It's midnight here right now. So I wanted to ask you about volume because I read on the website and I kindly ask you if you could be more specific about how you're going to increase the volume, how you intend to increase the volume and the instruments you want to put in place to do that. Thank you.
You want to you can start and then I'll finish because I talk too much anyways.
That's all right. So obviously with the utilities that we do have planned, the DApp chart for crypto beginners, the live ticket minting, all of those are going to be used to drive volume. Now, of course, those are a little bit down the road. Obviously, we're not going to have any of those right at launch. So, I mean, I know the big concern with a lot of folks when they look at a reflection token like this one or reflection projects I've been a part of in the past is, oh, great, you got the hype, you got a huge launch, you got a dip because pre-sellers sell, and then you kind of level out and you trade sideways for 2 or 3 weeks until marketing really kicks in. And then you have another bump followed by another dip. So basically, we just kind of want to prevent that. A lot of it is going to have to do with the first day. Making it that 1 hour delay with a 2 trillion max transaction is going to help not only minimize the number of dips that we have, but it's going to sustain that volume at least through the first 24 to 48 hours. And we have a lot of marketing lined up already for post-launch, things like YouTubers. We've got a bunch of press releases that are going out. I mean, we're going to basically hit the ground running from the word go, in addition to releasing the developed DApps and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I know as of right now, me and EJ were talking a little bit earlier, we're looking at somewhere around March, maybe to have the chat up. I don't know if that's early March, late March, but, basically within 60 days of launch, we'll have the first application, which a lot of projects, for example, Evergrow, they still haven't released their utility yet, and they've been out since September. So if we can bring it to market a lot faster than most of the other competing coins while providing more BUSD, I mean, that alone is going to drive the volume in and of itself.
Well, and exactly, and kind of what H just said. I mean, Evergrow coin still doesn't have utility, and you can see that it was super high, had some dips. The last few days, it's pumped back up. It proves that as much as utility in the future could be a driver, and I say could be a driver of volume, today in the world that we live of crypto isn't in human years, it's in dog years, and 1 week is really a month and 1 month is really a year. Volume is generated by consistent marketing and consistent behavior from the dev team to update the community about the strategic moves that they're planning. The nice part about our token is because of the tax reduction and because of the delayed dev burn, we have strategic meetings basically with you from now through February 24th. And we plan on continually having, obviously, AMAs in multiple platforms, but having implemented announcements and strategic plans every week with the community, because that is the big driver. is the community sentiment about the token. So in any reflection token right now, utility doesn't drive volume. Community sentiment drives volume. So we have to make sure that the community is being listened to. It's a kind community, and that we're doing everything within our power to give announcements that are worthy of the community. And that's the plan.
Thank you guys for the answer. And moreover, I agree with you totally, because what I see here is an organic growth of the Telegram channel, and is very important, because if you take a look to other projects and other Telegram channel, you see there is too much ADV. You know what I mean? It's incredible. They push you to go inside and advertise a lot. In here, I see very interested guys. So you're doing a great job from my point of view. This was my only concern about the volume, and everyone, like you said, and I used to take a look to AGC, what EverGrow coin is doing. Everyone, this is the pilot. I mean, everyone looking at them. So
for sure,
you have a great idea, and I think I'm gonna follow you and hold for a long time.
Cool, thank you.
No selling at all. I mean,
hey, like I said, because we don't have that 100 trillion, circulating will only be 371 trillion out of the gate. You get some good reflections. It's going to give a lot of justification to a lot of people of like, oh, well, if I'm getting this, I probably should hold it, because it would, in essence, be silly to not take the BUSD rewards that you're receiving as reflections. So that really is the plan. And the other part with that is that we owe EverGrow Coin and SafeMoon a debt of gratitude. Like, these guys did this before us. They were first to entry. They were the first ones that were actually on the market. They had to do a lot of things and take a lot of risks that nobody knew the answer. You didn't know when you were stepping off that cliff if you were going to fall to your death or if you were going to fly. And both of those projects have done very well with flying. And so we're taking a lot of the lessons that we've seen from those projects and trying to incorporate them into EverReflect.
So thank you, guys. Now it's time to go to bed for me, because my wife gonna kill me if I don't go right now. So
tell your wife we said thank you for allowing Luca to stay up.
Thank you very much, guys. Good night to everybody. Bye bye. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Thanks, Luca. All right. Well, who we got next? Imperator. What do you have for us, Imperator?
Hello there. I'm from the crypto community, directly, and just wanted to say that kudos to you guys for pushing this project so far. I fully believe in it, and I've had a little conversation with Stu just now about the website. So what I've been trying to inquire about is very simple. He told me that you, EJ, are behind the smart contract. That's correct?
Correct.
So I have a simple question. And this is just for my own information, like no boundaries or any strings attached. Just as a Solidity user myself, what are the 4 functions access modifiers in Solidity?
Wait, say that again?
What are the 4 function modifiers for access in Solidity? Just asking that on the back.
Oh, I'm not a coder. I've never claimed this is a template. This is a template contract.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wasn't getting behind that yet.
Oh, see, no. So we've had this conversation multiple times in the AMAs. If you've been here, we didn't write this contract. This is not a handwritten. This is a template contract that came from Open Zeppelin. We've deployed it through Pinksale. So, I mean, that's good that you know that, and it's great, to try to quiz somebody to show like, oh, I know more about coding than you do. But when everything's said and done, we've been very transparent, and even on the white paper, if you take a look, you'll see that it is coming from Pinksale, it is coming from Open Zeppelin, that we're not claiming to be these guys that are going in there and changing anything with a template contract to try to basically modify it and say that it's handwritten, because it's not. It's a template contract that you can find multiple times, that's been deployed hundreds of times, and that we know will work.
Of course, I didn't mean it like that. I don't know much more than anyone else here. I know some people can have my ass to me. I know that with all of the Solidity content, but I just didn't know that there was a template contract, and that's totally fine. I mean, templating is a safety mechanism. For example, nowadays all the contracts, which no one knows, have safety.
Every contract on BSC scan is a template. Nobody wrote their own contract, because BSC scan is a copy of Ethereum. Like, the only person that really wrote code was Buterin, and he was the one that was basically the founder of Ethereum and that blockchain back in 2015. And then Binance basically just copied Ethereum a few years later, tweaked a couple of the functions so that the gases were going to be cheaper. And then everybody's copied contracts that were originally Ethereum contracts. And granted, there are some super, super smart devs that are way smarter than I am. But just because you're a dev doesn't mean you're a coder. And just because you're straightforward that it's like, this is a template contract, we're doing it that reason. We're doing it for that reason, to protect the people that are purchasing it, and that we know when we deploy it that the thing will work. We've already deployed another one that's a test on the mainnet to make sure that people are protected. There's no sense of us trying to do something and take credit for a contract that we didn't write, but at the same point, most BSC contracts are templates. And you can see that if you go through the code. I can read BSC scan, but just because I don't know every function of every contract, most devs probably don't, because everything is a copy of everything, because blockchain BSC scan is a copy of Ethereum.
I understood. I fully comply with it. I mean, it's a safety mechanism you're making sure is implemented with your entire project. For example, nobody knows about this, but I've been part of that. I've had to protect people from the DAO hack with Ethereum back then. When you had re-entry using proxy contracts, where the fallback recalls the withdraw function, all these buzzwords that people don't know about anymore. And the templating you use, in that case, is absolutely solid and safe to use. So I was just making sure that there's nothing faulty, like just asking a simple question about the modifiers in Solidity, because I do Solidity. That's like my niche. Not as a dev, but as a coder myself, because I don't do web stuff solely. I just wanted to make sure that there's safety protocols you're using, and since you're using the main sets one can get a hold of, you're doing everything perfect as is. No worries. Everything's good.
And Pyridor, you know by going in and actually looking at the read on the contract that basically, other than the blacklist, the changing, modifying of the taxes for the marketing, for the liquidity, and for the reward, that there's actually very few parts. Even, I mean, granted, you go and look at our audit, there's a ton of red dots of where things can be modified by the contract owner. And a lot of things that don't necessarily even that the contract owner has a lot of control of turning things on, like being able to send or release tokens, or being able to make sure that certain tokens are blacklisted, wallets are blacklisted, or that certain wallets receive or don't receive fees. Like, that's where a lot of the control can kind of lie in any contract owner. Like, you want to make sure that whoever you're doing it isn't necessarily the person that might have a great contract, but you have to trust the person who's in control, because it's a heavy crown to wear when it's connected to your wallet, and you know that you have those parameters. And any of our board members and any of the admins can tell you that even when I find out new information, because I'm learning stuff every day as well, that if I go in and can change something, that I let them know right away. Like, this is something that we learned today about what the blockchain does, or how things react with liquidity or without liquidity, or when fees are on or when fees are off, because I want people to be aware of there is a lot of control with a person that owns a contract. And, that's why some people renounce them.
No, I'm totally fine with it. I just didn't get into the audit because I just found it via the website and all those red dots. The thing is, most contract copies or most contract templating is very, very susceptible to these kind of red dots because you have to use these functions to protect the community, which is what you're doing.
Right.
You have the ability to configure certain statistics only to a certain margin that I know of, to allow no one to hurt either investor who is involved in it. If you had full-on access, that would be dangerous, but you don't. You have explicit access to protect people from, unsafe procedures like botting.
Yep. Exactly. And actually, before we ended up choosing this specific one that is from a repository on Open Zeppelin, we asked a number of auditors and people that I'm already familiar with and friends that are in the space to be like, what are your thoughts of this one? How do you feel about this template? Because is it safe? That's really the only key, because how many launches have we seen in the last couple of weeks that the contract, the team, everybody is trusted, but it's not necessarily one of those, we try to tweak something and then we're failing to add liquidity, or we're trying to do something because the fees are turned off, or for whatever reason, a launch can have a hiccup. And it's a lot of times it has to do with that, with trying to modify a template of a contract.
Exactly. And to anyone who's ever worried about anything, the anti-botting, the ownership and everything, I mean, you guys passed the audit with the biggest marks of green checks you can get by one of these interviewers. So no worries there. All you're doing is awesome. I was just making sure that I was on the right page, and now I am. It would be much more dangerous if it was a completely configured, own-coded, hard-coded contract. It's possible, but it's absolutely dangerous, even with all of these functions. You guys have 54 functions and instances. All of those were good. The safety score, excellent. I would be all over.
Right. Yeah. We love those. I mean, and I believe his name's Chris. That's over at EverReflect. Like, I chat with him all the time because he's a brilliant guy and he knows everything about that. So one of the other foundations of this entire team and everybody that I work with, it's John Maxwell's law of the inner circle, right? Like, you surround yourself. You're not always the smartest person in the room. You're not always the smartest person in the room. Maybe with certain things you are, but when everything's said and done, you can't always be the smartest person. So you have to surround yourself with other smart people that only basically add to the foundation of the entire team. And so that's what we're doing across the board.
Good John Maxwell reference. Yeah, sorry, baby was going absolutely ham. So I'm just feeding her right.
Thanks for that question, Imperator.
Yeah, good question, Imperator. So, all right, we got Labaze. Hopefully I said that right. I probably butchered it. I'm sorry. But you're up. You can talk. Labaze? Labaze?
Hear me now?
Ah, perfect. Yes.
Yeah. So, Labaz or, X, that's fine. First of all, just a big thank you to the team. You are doing an amazing job, being so nice and transparent. That's great to be part of the community. I have just one hopefully easy question for you. How the reflection process will work? Will it be an airdrop in a wallet? Will it be a claim system? How it has been engineered?
So because we're using the Launchpad, you basically will just go back to the Launchpad if you ended up getting an allocation from the whitelist with the presale. So you'll just go back there, connect after the presale is done. If it sells fast, it will be able to be pretty much finalized right away, but we're still going to wait to finalize that launch until January 20th at 5 p.m. UTC so that everybody's kind of on the same page. And then once we end up sending the liquidity over, then that's when you can claim those tokens, because kind of like our Solidity friend had just said, there's certain things that happen on the blockchain. And one of those is that if we have those Pinksale tokens and they're in a locked wallet and you can deploy them, but there's no fees on that wallet, you can't deploy them without liquidity. For whatever reason, the blockchain just seems to shut it down and rejects it. So we'll have to wait until the moment that we finalize the launch. We will send those tokens out to everybody that can claim them, that basically bought in the pre-sale, and then that liquidity will be added to Pancake.
Yeah, thank you. I think I badly asked my question. What about the reflection that will happen, when you hold your token?
Okay. Yeah. So.
Can you explain?
Yeah. I'm sorry. All right. I think I understand what your question is. So there's a couple of different ways that it does. So I guess the way the contract is built is that when there is BUSD or rewards to get distributed, they all go to a deployer wallet, which will automatically transfer to your wallet, right? Based on the volume and how much you hold and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
This is pretty similar to a lot of other reflection tokens. You can force claim your existing BUSD rewards without waiting on the deployer wallet by either buying or selling the token. So there isn't going to be like a claim feature per se, at least until the DApp is introduced, which I assume with most other reflection tokens, their DApp has a manual claim where all you got to do is pay the gas. So, but it'll automatically come to you once the reward is greater than the gas it would cost to send it to you from the deployer wallet.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Good luck for the pre-sales and the lunch. We are all behind you.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, man. We really appreciate it. Yeah, I've seen you in the chat a number of times, and you're a good guy, so we appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Well, Chris, you are up next. You have your hand up for a little bit. What you got, big dog?
Hey, guys. You kind of answered my question. Just want to show my support for you guys. You're awesome. Fully behind the project. Want to make the most of the launch. I've just been in a few launches recently, which have had a real problem with getting that liquidity over and a massive delay. But you've already answered that. So thank you very much, guys. And love what you're doing and really want to make the most of that launch.
Thank you, Chris.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
And going back to, that concept of making sure that we're releasing the tokens when we add the liquidity, that we're doing things that are, we get it, guys. They're smarter people than us. They're smarter devs than us. But when everything is said and done, we're doing this safely. Like, that is the goal behind all of this. Get a token that we can actually do what we want it to do, because all the math and all the parameters, I don't care how good of a token you have. If you don't have the correct strategy with the math, it's still not going to work. That's the brilliance of this entire project, and that we're building this community organically with a team that is busting their butts every day to do the right thing based on humility and integrity for everybody, because that's what it's founded on. Like, we will never take the role of, this is the only token that you have to own, and that we're going to be the best token ever to exist, and you should basically sell everything else and only buy us. Like, it doesn't work that way. We know how this process works. We're going to be as transparent and open and honest and build true rapport with as many people as possible, because that's what we wanted. This is the community we've been searching for months in buying Pinksale pre-sales. So when it says on our website, it's a token for holders by holders, it's the truth, because that's why we're doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah, the token is only as good as the community that supports it.
Yep,
which I got to say, this is the best community, bar none. Which is saying something. Like I said, I've been in quite a few. I'm in if you can see my Telegram list, I've got maybe 30, 40 chats going. And the one I spend the most time in is EverReflect, not just because I'm involved in the token, but because the community is freaking awesome. Like, we talk about all sorts of things. It's not just, it's EverReflect 100% of the time. I know EJ's mentioned it in a couple of different AMAs where we can talk about things like old video games and travel plans and business.
Yeah, like, it's supposed to be fun.
All that. Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. It's not work. It's all fun.
Like, nobody on this team will ever try to make anybody else feel small because you're not as smart as us. So I know there's a lot of people in this crypto world that do that to other people. We won't, because of the fact that we want this to be a community organized around kindness and around friendships and to have fun. Like, talk about other tokens if it's been vetted. Talk about our token. If you want to talk about your favorite show, Gold Rush, and your wife gets pissed off because you're always watching Gold Rush, talk about it, because that's what friendships are.
Yeah, that, and I guarantee you the vast majority of people listening to this AMA are way smarter than me. I'm just a dumb old car salesman. So, you know, that's what I do for a living. Hopefully not for too much longer once this thing goes to the freaking moon.
You are good at it, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I have been told. Baby does not agree with you. All right, I guess you're not.
I guess you're not good at it.
Whatever, she doesn't know anything. She's only 8 months old.
True.
Daddy's supposed to be the smartest man in your life. Don't you forget that, baby. All right, let's see who we got. Imperator, looks like you got another question. You are back up, my
It's very simple. I'm not trying to ask everything out here. I'm just trying to get a hold of everything. First and foremost, I have to disagree wholeheartedly. I have to agree with one thing: sell everything and buy this coin. That's the main thing. Like, I fully believe in it, and the genuine side you guys have to yourselves going for you is something I admire. The openness, this community specifically, is unique in the entire crypto sphere. You know, the starting period of EGC, for example, had something honest about it, which really accelerated growth. And this same honesty I've been watching for a few days and longer than that. And this has just kept up. You guys are busting yourselves up, answering every question, even in chat. Even when stuff gets overlooked, you still scroll up, go into it. And this is something I had to point out. Based on my question, I have to ask, how much time do you spend each day just on the community? Because I think sometimes you guys are like up 12 hours just handling questions from people who might have asked that same question 20 times before, but you still have the enthusiasm to always go into that and go beyond. And I just wonder how. Like, what's the drive? That's insane, just from my point of view.
Well, just this last week, I was out with COVID, so I had nothing but time and quarantine. But I mean, I'll usually I don't really get a whole lot of chance to really interact with the community while I'm at work, because I work 12-hour days when I do go to work. But on my days off, I mean, it's fun. It's fun to me. Like, right. You know, that they say, you know, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And I kind of take that to heart, because like, I love interacting with the community and banning all these bots and, you know, whatever else. I mean, it's just fun. Like, it's great. Right. Like, you guys are always so vibrant and you have a lot of energy and, you know, good memes, and gifts and questions. And, you know, the more open and transparent we can be, Stu's got his guitar out. The more open and transparent we can be, I mean, it really just kind of keeps us going. I mean, that's what I got to say. Usually I got anything else.
Yeah, well, I would say one of the other aspects is that the whole idea of this community started with one guy named Yost that I met from buying another random token that completely like tanked on us. And that led to another gentleman named Educated in our group. I won't repeat his last name, but you guys, that was kind of the start of this multiplying factor of developing real friendships for people that are super excited of being in the crypto space, and that we're all trying to educate ourselves. We're all trying to find solid resources, because for as much as somebody will question our project or think that we're doing something right or that we're doing something wrong, you have every reason to worry about, like, well, will this work because it's 20% tax? Sure, fair enough. The one thing you'll never have to worry about is the transparency and the integrity of this project, because you're seeing everybody's faces, you're seeing everybody in the community, and that's where it comes from. It's based on true friendships that we all have. I was telling one of our new mods last night, there's 23 people watching that Telegram group all across the globe 24/7, from Australia to Europe to everywhere but basically Antarctica, that we have 23 people that are within the core of this team of either board members or admins that are watching out to answer questions and to do, you do your best to try to protect this community. And I said this to BP the other day, one of our board members. I never realized what a bond I would have with the community to protect them as well from whether it's spam or whether it's people shilling or whether it's just complete trash that, we don't delete a lot, but what we do delete, it's only because it's for the benefit of the community, because we want everybody to be able to feel like it's a welcoming place for them to be. What up, Stu? Are we getting a Friday night session playing?
I was wondering if H Unit's there. Baby likes rock and roll, man.
I guess we'll find out.
Some metal? I don't know.
She's not crying.
Well, she's not squirming anymore.
Now she cried.
Multi-talented and good-looking, folks.
Yeah, she's already got the horns going on too.
I'm old. Yeah, I was supposed to be skiing, so it was really cold out, man. You know what? So I'm glad I stayed here. I'm glad I talked to you guys.
Michigan the last couple of days has been too cold. So, well, it's approaching 6:30, so we probably have about 4 more minutes. And if there's any other questions in the group,
looks like we got Tina LJ. I know you've had your hand up a couple of times. So Tina, go ahead with your question, then we'll get shake and bake, and we will call it a night.
Sound good.
Tina, you are unmuted.
Here we go.
Ah,
Hi,
hey,
guys.
welcome.
Hey, Tina.
Well, a female voice.
We don't get a lot of those around here.
I didn't want to assume.
Well, I realized that it's more a men community, but there's a lot of women starting up.
Right, but that's awesome that you feel comfortable to even be here. So thank you.
Well, I'm comfortable as soon as the 3 kids in the other room are not barging in my room, because that's going to be chaos. But yeah, no. Well, that little one is teething, and it's really quiet right now on Daddy. But I'm pretty sure at night she's not.
Right.
Not at all. She's nicknamed the Banshee. So, because that's exactly what I imagine a banshee would sound like. She's got teeth 7 and 8 coming in, and she's not even 8 months old. So she's gonna be eating steak for her first birthday. That's for sure.
Well, not really, not necessarily.
Above my head.
But yeah, I want to thank you guys because I'm a newbie. I'm new at that, and I don't have much to spend. I have a big family, and we don't have a lot of money to put into crypto. But we know it's the future. We know, and there's so many nice projects and everything. So we started that actually a couple of weeks ago, and we're interesting in your project because the only thing you're gonna heard from people that doesn't really know about crypto will be it's just scams. It's scams, It's and it's true. There's a lot.
There's a lot, right?
I'm a small buyer, so I'm really interested in your project because actually whitelist, I wasn't really sure what was that talking about in the beginnings, and I've kind of learned that you gotta get on there if you're a small buyer because I don't have a big wallet because I don't have that much money to put in, and I'm a long-term buyer because I don't have the luxury to start taking chance and just selling and buying and selling and buying. So when you see a big launch and you're just oh, that's so nice, and after that you hear oh, the bot's are starting, and you're just like, what's the bots? And you're just like, oh. So,
like, are we in the Matrix? Right. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm new, like I said, and I'm learning on like the way, and I found your project, and I'm really happy I've heard you today because it's the first time I was able to make it. With young kids, well, mommy's gotta.
Busy,
She's the CEO of the. No, you're the CEO of the house, like no matter what, you're the secretary, you're the president, you're the treasury, you're everything.
You wear everything. You have all that.
So
you go.
So like, yep.
Well, Tina,
so basically, I'm really happy for that.
Thank you so much, because if you had the chance to go back to our first AMA and you could hear one of our other founding members, my dad, Frederick Balf, like we talk about this conversation about there's so much, people talk about FUD all the time, right? And you can FUD about the tokenomics and all this stuff, but there's so much FUD to the newbie. And it's like, why? Because you don't know the terminology, or because you don't know how to read a smart contract, or you don't know how BSC scan, like that's not how this community will ever grow. We have to show people, like the first time you get a trust wallet or you get a meta can be very intimidating. And then you got to do something with a smart chain to be able to switch over a BNB that has to be
I'm
bet
still
20.
trying to
Right.
understand those ones.
So that's where we want to be that resource, and we want to be that like that you can feel confident enough to ask those types of questions in this group, because it is hard. Anybody that tells you that they started off this and they just got it day one is lying, because we didn't either, and we're still learning every day.
Oh yeah, there's still. I mean, I've been in the space since probably about April, May, when the whole Safe Moon thing took off, and that's when I started looking into it. Of course, I got in late. Oops, but I mean, I made a ton of mistakes just because I had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, since then, I mean, it's almost a year later here, and I mean, I've done okay. I've taken a bunch of licks, fallen prey to a bunch of scams, and I mean, it's the nature of the business. But with all that being said, I mean, that's why when EJ, approached us about this project, and hey, it's going to be up front, it's going to be very transparent, no BS for the little guy. That's what really sold me, because I've always been a big fan of rooting for the little guy. Because
Well,
like
I
you
was
said,
scared about like those white lists. Like I looked on your website. I'm just like, they're asking so many stuff, and I'm just like, is it safe? And you don't even know, and you're just like, okay, we'll try it. We'll give it a try. Hopefully
Good.
we're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always like question. You're always like wondering, is it safe? Is it okay? Is it the right thing? You're questioning. It's like I don't have enough in my mind already, and I'm adding that. I've made my first transaction like couples of like hours ago, and like a big buy for our family, like when you put 200-300, and it's like, and laid off because of COVID and all those stuff, you're just like, okay. But I was shaking. I don't know how the people are doing that. I'm just like, I'm not sure I'm fit for that, but I'll give it a try.
But
Let's
you're learning.
see.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you, Tina, it gets easier.
Right.
It definitely gets easier, especially if
like
you pick
giving
a few.
birth, it's get easier.
Oh, I don't know anything about that. I've never given birth, but my wife has twice, and she says it still doesn't get easier. But it does get easier as you find good projects. That can build your confidence in the space, and if you happen upon a really good project, I mean, it can make it seem like it's too easy. But
Well,
these
I
very
don't
good
want to get
projects.
rich. I just want to have time, like with my kids. I have 6 kids, and like, yeah, I see that little.
Well,
But yeah, no.
You're the
You just wanna-
ideal person that this token is designed for. And I had a conversation
hopefully
with
we'll
Stu
be
about
able
this.
to have a chance to buy it on Pinksale. That would be better for my wallet, but we'll give it a shot anyways after. We'll see.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you for honestly having the confidence to get up and ask a question to this group of guys that, you just proved everything that we want this community to be, that you can have the confidence to be like, hey, I'm learning this. Maybe there's people that can help me with certain aspects of it, and our collective knowledge of our mistakes, we can benefit other people, and we can help people through the transition, because there's still, I say this quote all the time. There's 300 million people that have crypto, and only 2 million of them are active BSC wallets. Like, there's such a huge market share of people that could open up. If people they get off their high horse, stop having big egos, and think that they're better than other people because of the fact that you have to show somebody the simple action of, this is how you download an app. This is how, you know what, I'll give you some BNB so that you can buy.
The videos you're doing right now, the answer question things that you're doing, like, I wouldn't be able to ask you a question because I don't know what to ask. So seriously, the videos that, like, those thing that you're doing right now is so nice for new people because you just listen, you know, you listen, and people asking questions that, like, I wouldn't thought of asking those questions. I don't know shit. So I'm allowed to do it. I'm allowed to say it. I'm alone.
It's true. You're right. You are right.
That's what it is. And, like, I'm really appreciating of that. I don't have much time in my day to go chit chat, but sometimes, like, instead of going on Facebook and crap shit like that, well, I enjoy open those, like, telegrams or, like, Discuss. I don't know. It's new application for me, and I'm just like, oh, it's fully interesting. A lot of funny humor. And yeah, no, seriously, I'm enjoying it. So
cool.
I'm gonna take a ride.
I'm gonna shoot you a DM. So thank you so much for being here. You made my night, so we appreciate it.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Looking forward to hearing more from you as your crypto journey continues.
Thanks.
All right.
You are such a radio announcer. It's incredible.
I know. All right. Shake and bake crypto. Did you have? Okay.
What up, Shake and Bake?
You will be our last question of the evening, good sir. You are unmuted. Ask away.
You're not first, you're last. What's up, guys?
What up, Shake and Bake?
Hey, I just want to say, great call today. The one thing that I was kind of curious about too is, you mentioned the bots and how you're going to do the initial sell in the first 24 hours. I think that's awesome because, as you know, in other projects that you guys have gotten into, just like me and everybody else, sometimes those things are set up to fail at the beginning. So I think for new people that probably don't understand it, like Tina just, was explaining, I think that's perfect for people like that don't know just yet. And so I think that's, pretty huge. And it's very transparent. And I think, a lot of the community is starting to go towards, the ones that are transparent and, show themselves and, establish that trust. And I think it's, commendable as well that you guys, started this a while ago, but you're just now getting started because you wanted to build that community. And to me, that means a lot. And that's a project worthwhile, being in for the long term, just like, your Safe Moon, Evergrow and such, because I have those as well. But this is just, it's a great project, and I'm really excited that I came across it a few weeks ago, and I've appreciated the conversations that I've had in there, and it's good to see, some of the similar, bases from other projects in there, and, it's an exciting project, and just wish you guys the best, and, I love the conversations and just the family feel in that community. It makes a big difference, and it makes people a little bit more
open.
Trusting. Open, trusting, and, not fearful of, asking something in the community. And it's a good group feel. And it's, will continue to go that way as well. The website looks amazing, by the way. And Stu, I'm in Colorado with you. It's warm now, so you should probably get your butt up to the mountains, go get you some skiing in.
Unmute yourself. Here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wish I was in Colorado. I'm in Michigan, and we actually started a club, and we go every Friday, and we take everybody with us. And we used to have one when I was a kid. Now my wife's done it; she was on the ski team too. But we go skiing out in Colorado like maybe once a year. I'll be in Breckenridge the end of March, man, to go hit those slopes on spring break.
Dude, when you come out, you gotta hit me up. We'll go grab some beers.
All right, yeah. I mean,
I'm only about an hour away from Breckenridge, but I'm up there all the time.
We got the Icon Pass, so we're going to maybe 4 or 5 hills, Vale, and different ones. Yeah, you know what? I've taken that trip a couple times, and man, let me tell you, this one's the most expensive. they have no fear of raising prices in Colorado, man. So
believe it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, shake and bake. Dude, you've been one of those guys where I've chatted with you a number of times in the group, and like, it's the personalities, it's the foundation, it's the people that we love to have conversations with. And that's, the whole project is a collective group idea from a lot of insights from a lot of us that have done a lot of pre-sales. And like you just said, that a person that's maybe new might not know, like, oh, so you can't buy for 60 minutes versus 30 seconds. Like, we're trying to incorporate all the best parts we've seen of every launch and just infuse them into one and see what comes out the other side. And the whole time we're doing it, we're telling you why we're doing it, because we're like, this is the logic we came to. So it's fun, because being transparent and being honest with everybody is way more fun than you can just share it all. And we're all in the same boat together. Like, even the concept of the tokens that are controlled by me personally, it's only the marketing wallet. I don't own any of my own tokens yet until the vesting tokens are released 90 days after launch. So I'm going to be trying to buy at launch as well. And people might not think that, and they might think that I'm lying or that I have all this stash somewhere. I'm not. I told BP the other day, this will be one of the most savoring moments of this journey is that when this thing goes live on January 20th, that I will have my wallet ready to buy right there at that moment as well. Because I'm not going to take pre-sale. I'm going to end up taking, right at launch because I want to. I think it'll be a blast.
Yeah. And that's awesome. And the the fact that you guys are maxing that at the 2 trillion for the 60 minutes, and then I think that's just, I haven't seen that before. I've always seen you can just buy out the gate. That's when you see that massive dip when people sell off and get their profits and leave. But I think that 60 minutes is freaking huge. Like, you guys blew me away with that. I was already sold as it was prior to hearing that, but that just made it more intriguing because it helps everybody else get in, and you don't have all these people coming in just swooping up the tokens. So it's a phenomenal idea. I love it personally, and I think it's great for the community as a whole.
And and we had never heard of it either, so we know it's a bold move. And even because I talk with the Pinksale with Saul and with Chad, their devs over there, pretty much almost on a daily basis when I have questions, and even for them, they're like, normally it's 30 seconds, or on their videos maybe they put it to 60 seconds in between transactions. Like, we're going an hour. Like, don't know if it's ever been done, but we're trying it because it's only a safety mechanism. It doesn't help anybody. So it makes it more difficult for everybody, which makes it, in essence, more even, which I know that logic might sound a little backwards, like, oh, make it tough for everybody. But making it tough for everybody makes it more fair for the whole community. So that's the plan.
Absolutely. No, it's beautiful, man. Appreciate it, guys.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you, my guy. Awesome. Well, I guess that'll probably wrap it up here. Well, Princess here is getting kind of sleepy.
So am I. Plus, I got to go watch
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys. Hey, thank you, Irish Grandma Hands.
Yeah, I figured I'd give somebody else a chance to talk today.
You meme-aholic.
It kills me every single time I hear his name, Irish Grandma.
I know. I love hearing.
Diamond Hands,
I love hearing your deep voice come out of a name, Irish Grandma Hands. That's my favorite part. All right,
somebody else is asking my brother in a chat about, does he really have Irish Grandma Hands? And he sent a picture of some old lady's wrinkled up hands. I was like, oh, that's fucked up.
That's what you're gonna get. That's what you took that risk by naming yourself that on Telegram.
Well, cheers, guys. Good luck on the next move. And I'm very much looking forward to it, and appreciate being a part of it.
I appreciate you being another moderator in our group. One of those 23 people that are out there watching that community and making sure it's safe. So, well, thank you, everybody, from our entire team here at EverReflect, and hope you have a wonderfully safe night. And thank you for just taking a Friday night to spend some time with 3 ugly men and a beautiful baby. Have a good night, everyone.
All right. See y'all later. See you in the chat.